This is what I call a dumbbell squat. I'm going to show you a few different variations to do this depending on what your gym has. We'll start with the simplest form with just a dumbbell. Get your normal squat stance. Feet about shoulder width, maybe narrow or wider depending on how you're built. Toes slightly out. When you do the squat, the biggest mistake people have is they think the more they bend over, the lower they are. And as they come down, they'll come down like this. And then when they're doing too much weight, they'll come up like this, thinking they're coming up, and then it's all glutes and hams from there. Want to focus on the quads and also rest of the leg. We don't want to leave the quads out though. So what I usually tell people is to imagine that your knees and your hips are in the way, and you got to go step straight down. So if you break the hips and then break the knees, you're going to feel this hole open up. And with the weight on your heels, like you should be able to lift your toes off the ground the whole time during this when you do it perfect. You feel that hole open up, you just want to drop into that hole until your hips about break the knee line or a little bit past. Don't go all the way down, about knee line or a little bit lower. If you have knee pain, maybe a little bit higher. Push the heels in, push the knees in, push the glutes in, keep your chest up, come in just like that. Don't lock out, but come up to right there. You're pushing those 3 points, or hips, knees, heels into the ground. All that in and come in and squeeze. Perfectly, that's how you should do it. Let's say keep your chest up. Knees should be going in the same direction as your feet. One thing I see is people have this natural defense thing that makes no sense, and as they go down, they'll bring their knees in to stop them. And we all know that's going to cause knee problems. You'll messing up a tendon somewhere. Or some people go way out, over exaggerating the width of their squat. You don't want the knees to go inside or outside those feet. So none of this or none of that. Just straight forward to where direction the toes are pointing. So break the hips, break the knees, drop down. Push the heels into the ground, the knees in, the glutes in, keep your chest up, just like that, and squeeze everything. Now, keep that in mind with the dumbbell. It's going to be hard to hold it like this because you might hit the ground before you get low enough depending on how tall you are. And so flip it like this. Now, because this weight may pull you forward, think about leaning against the weight. Lean back, chest up, keep your shoulders back, and then come down, and then come up just like that. Plenty of room, like that. If you want to use kettlebells, or some gyms like we have here have an apparatus that holds the weight, you can stack plates on it, and it's a long bar you have. You can step on steps, which we'll show you over here. So just set everything up to support the stance you have. I angle these out a little bit so there's room for the weight to go in between. And same thing as being on the ground. Chest up, break the hips, break the knees, drop straight down with your chest up, push the heels in, knees in, glutes right there. Squeeze, don't go all the way up and lock out. Keep your back arched or straight, chest out, shoulders back best you can, and sit back. Don't come all the way down like this. So if you have a habit of sitting back too much like this when you squat, then get your stance. Break the knees first, then break the hips, then drop straight down, and then come up. So you have to play with the order of which one you break first according to how you naturally squat, so you can position yourself to stay straight up as you go now best you can.